Hi everyone. I think I'll do a quick review on this Grove GHC130, the hydraulic crawler. I like this thing kind of a lot. The graphics and the detail on it are pretty good. I'll go over a couple of issues with it, but it's a pretty good little model to have. We'll start at the bottom with the tracks. This is the one that the tracks fold in for transport. Of course, makes it thin enough to fit on any typical flatbed. And starting with the tracks, they don't roll on my surface very well. However, I just didn't like the way they separate here. Anywhere where they are tensioned back here, but it tends to pull the tracks apart, and you can see metal in them. They do turn. Just not very well on my wood. But yeah, they do. But the graphics on this thing is really, really nice. And the detail. I'm gonna get this up here a little bit. You can see the hydraulic hoses and stuff in there on both sides. There's quite a bit of good detail on this thing. And the graphics are real nice. All the counterweights. Got real nice markings on them. It does have the lifting kit. Locking chains. One of my favorite things about this thing is there's your winch key hidden behind the side panel. And you can see a little bit more of those hydraulic hoses and stuff there. Look at that. That's pretty detailed. Cab does hold a pose. When I bought it, it didn't. Apparently I had a little problem with the assembly. This little pin right here has to catch this arm and this arm back in here, and it didn't catch this one back here. So this little hydraulic arm didn't even stick in there. When the cab came down, it popped out. And of course the cab didn't hold a position, because that little thing, by the time you stuck it in, it was about that high. But I took that pin out and pushed the cab back and got it in that other side there, and now it holds the pose pretty good. Doesn't go very high, but it does hold it. One of the small issues with this one. The other one was these winches. You can see here where I kind of damaged that a little bit. I had to grip this with some vice grips. There was a big gap between these two winches here, and this winch bar was not in. I put this in. It's one piece. It's a large paper clip. I had to pull these back so I could get it through here, and I re-drilled the holes because the holes had a bunch of paint in them. And I glued all this back together. I glued these two together because they wouldn't stay. And they didn't have a break because there was really no pressure on the sides to the drum. So when I squeezed this together real good and glued this in and glued this together, now they have a real good brake and they work perfectly and it looks a lot better. Okay, cab looks pretty cool. It's got the little light and wipers, mirror. It's got a little bit of detail in it for the inexpensive model that it is. I mean, what you pay for this is pretty cheap. These come out pretty far all the way. The jib is three-way adjustable. It does go straight, but as you pull these pins out, it lets it drop a little more. I've got it tilted down just a little. It does come with a nice hook. I just had to do my own number on it. They had the hook, the wire glued to the last pulley. So I took that off and I put my little piece of insulation. I can get you can kind of see it. There wasn't very much to work with there. Once the boom is up, that goes straight down and it doesn't look so bad. Other than that, I'm gonna give this thing a good review because of the graphics and the detail on the model. It is pretty good. It does have lifting jacks that all swing out and work. The ladders, I mean, it does have good detail in it. Right down to the little hydraulic hose down in there. So it's got plenty of good detail to it. And it is a pretty sturdy little model. I did hook it up with the headache ball with my little insulation. And this week it's setting a road bed for that 1280. All in all, I give this thing a very good marking, even though I had a few problems with it. Several little small issues. No big deal. You get that stuff once in a while. I think there was not very much line on the drums. I think I redid the drums as well because there wasn't much line on them. The tracks have real nice lights in them. It's just little detail like that makes these things look pretty good. That tied in with all these graphics and stuff on this model, I gotta give this thing an outstanding, even though I had trouble with it. The boom ram is very tight. Where you put it, it will stay there. You can put quite a bit of pressure on it, and it takes a lot to get it to move. So it does hold a position really, really well. This does swing out. I take the little pin out. This will swing out the. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I gotta take the pin out. The jib is pretty good, pretty nice. Nice graphics again. Painting on it is real good. I just gotta say this is a good little model. And if you guys are looking at it, I say grab one. It's a good addition to anybody's collection. And I have noticed that these Cenobogan, this Grove, and the 1100, they are so similar. They almost look like the same thing, but you know, the graphics and colors make them look different. So we'll see if I get any of the other ones. Time will tell. In the meantime, there's a review on the Grove GHC130. Crawler hydraulic crane. It's just a sharp little model. Everything works pretty good on it. Can't complain. All right, guys. Have a great day.